I just want to make sure I have this correct. Donald Trump is suing CBS and 60 Minutes for $20 billion because he's claiming that back in October of 2024, they aired an interview of former Vice President Kamala Harris that had some edits in it, although the full interview was separately accessible. But then Donald Trump's interviews are always frequently heavily edited by Fox. And then when Donald Trump just did an interview this weekend with Kristen Welker of Meet the Press on NBC, massive portions of the interview were deleted and edited out from what ultimately aired to the public. If you went on the NBC website, which our editorial team did, they did post the full interview there, and some of the most damaging clips of Donald Trump were not aired publicly. So I want to get this straight. Can I become a billionaire now because Donald Trump sued CBS for $20 billion, claiming that his injury, and by the way, Ronnie Jackson, MAGA Republican Congress member from Amarillo, Texas, was added to the lawsuit so Donald Trump could forum shop to have the case heard in the Northern District of Texas before a judge that Donald Trump likes. They're alleging that they are consumers who were injured because it hurt their eyes as consumers to take in what they said was an edited interview of former Vice President Kamala Harris. They said $20 billion is the damage. Okay, so folks, $20 billion, maybe I'll buy us all yachts and jets or whatever. Whatever the oligarchs get, because I think I've been injured $20 billion. What do you think? Well, we've got the footage here at the MeidasTouch Network. Shall we look at what NBC deleted on Meet the Press? It was on their website, but it was not shown publicly on Meet the Press. Let's take a look, shall we? We did a whole report on this on MeidasPlus.com. Subscribe to our Substack and on MeidasNews.com as well. What did they take out? Maybe a reference to Jeff Bezos and how Donald Trump basically shook down Bezos and Amazon were going to include the additional price of the goods and the goods being sold on Amazon that are now caused by the tariffs. There was going to be a tariff line item why your products cost more money. But Donald Trump, who says that the foreign countries eat the tariffs, he goes, they eat it. They eat the tariffs. Okay, well, if they're eating the tariffs, then why are you worried about Jeff Bezos and Amazon putting tariffs on the receipt of the consumer? Well, anyway, this clip got edited out by NBC. I wonder why they edited this one out. Here, play this clip.
What did you say to Jeff Bezos?
He's just a very nice guy. We have a relationship. I asked him about it. He said, well, I don't want to do that. And he took it off immediately.
So he changed course. And will you take that same tactic with other CEOs if you
I'll
feel
always
like
call people if I disagree with them. If I think that somebody's doing something that's incorrect, wrong, or maybe hurtful to the country, I'll call. Absolutely. Wouldn't you want me to call? Biden wouldn't call because he didn't know what was happening, but I do.
They edited that clip out. $20 billion. Please let me take your $20 billion. Okay, folks. How many yachts should I buy with that? How many jets should I buy with with that? Okay, the next clip NBC did not include on the broadcast to the public was when Donald Trump said that egg prices are down 87%. Then Kristen Welker, the host, tries to help Donald Trump and goes, look, Donald, we know that eggs were high because of, she tries to give him the answer. Bird flu. That's why. Blame it on bird flu. Even though former President Biden never got the benefit of the doubt on anything, and Kristen Welker and others would just destroy Biden on literally every issue. And by the way, when's the NBC story going to run on how cognitively declined Donald Trump looks? If you have people in your life that you know who have dementia or suffer from cognitive issues, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what I'm observing with Donald Trump, but I can tell you that it certainly looks like people I know that do. So you tell me. But anyway, she tries to help him and goes, it was because of the bird flu. Now, Donald Trump, whatever it is, he doesn't even understand she's trying to help him. So he attacks her and he goes, why would you say that? Why would you say that? we had the same bird flu as he had. She's trying to help him there. I wonder if that's why they cut this clip out from what was aired to the public. Here, play this clip.
People, it didn't matter what they made because they were losing their shirt because of costs. Now take a look at what happened. Oil is down, gasoline is down, groceries are down, eggs. You were the one that asked me. You asked me about eggs. It was the first week. I didn't even know anything about what were you talking about. Egg prices were so high you couldn't buy eggs. They didn't have any eggs. And they said Easter is going to be a disaster. Well, we had Easter at the White House and we had thousands of eggs and they were down 87%.
Yeah, a lot of that, of course, spike was because of bird flu. But when does it become the Trump economy?
Why do you say that?
Well, tell me,
we had the same bird flu as he had.
The next clip that they edited out on the NBC interview that the public didn't get to see unless you went to the NBC website. Not a lot of people do that. Is when Donald Trump whines about the 2020 election. For a long time in this interview, that all got cut. Donald Trump was saying the election was rigged, and Kristen Welker again tries to help him. And she goes, I don't want to look back. Let's look forward. Donald's like, I want to look back. It was rigged. It was unfair. She's like, all right, Donald, let's move forward. It was rigged. I wonder why they deleted this clip. Here, play it.
You know, my 4 years were phenomenal, as you know, the stock market. In fact, even though we had to go through the COVID thing, that horrible situation with COVID, we did numbers. And when I gave it over, when I handed it over, the election was rigged and because of that, we have a lot of problems, by the way. But when I handed it over, what happened? The market was higher than it was previous to COVID coming in. Yeah. Nobody could believe it. The stock market I'm talking about.
I don't want to look back, but you did take your case to court about that.
Back.
You took your case to court about your allegations against the election. Let me ask you,
There's no question about it. The election was rigged. The facts are in, and it's still being litigated. Let's go.
You did take your case to court more than 60 times and didn't win those cases.
I won a lot of court cases.
Just to button that up, though, sir. Just to button that up.
What are you talking about?
How worried are you?
Are we talking about the election?
Let's talk about here and now. Let's talk about
the
here and now.
election of 2020.
Let's not talk about. Let's talk about here and now.
I think you get the point now of which clips they're deleting. And again, as a consumer, Donald Trump says he's a consumer, and Ronnie Jackson's a consumer, and they suffered serious emotional distress. That's why they're suing CBS for $20 billion and Paramount. I don't know. Are you distressed? I'm distressed. $20 billion. $20 billion seems about right. Thanks for creating that precedent for me, Donald. And then over here, Donald Trump, this is where he goes, what people don't understand is that the countries eat the tariffs. They eat the tariffs. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the tariffs, apparently. Here, play this clip.
But what people don't understand is, and this is a lot, the country eats the tariff. The company eats the tariff. And it's not passed along at all.
Well, some CEOs are saying they're going to have to pass it on. So how do you deal with those CEOs?
But the company,
how do you deal with those CEOs?
China is eating the tariffs right now.
What do you say to those CEOs who are saying we might have to pass this on to the consumer?
Well, they say that because maybe it's to their advantage to say it.
Will you punish them?
No, because you know what? I want them to build plants in the United States. That way they don't have any tariffs. See, tariffs will, and not only will, look at what's happened. In 2 months, we're close to $9 trillion of investment. We've never been anywhere near that.
Okay, well, if you want to know my opinion why NBC edited that out, because if you take that clip with the Bezos clip, it shows that Donald Trump is the most generous thing you can say about Donald Trump is that either he's an idiot, he has major cognitive issues. That's the nicest interpretation of him, honestly, right? Because the alternative is that this is just an insane monster, which is it's probably all of the above right here. So the countries are eating it, okay, but Bezos is putting it on because the countries are eating it, and then you're calling Bezos to say, hide the tariffs? Doesn't this seem a little bit like a miracle, it's all going to go away? Stop the testing. Stop the testing. I've given this example before, and it just bears repeating right now. I saw that movie. It was with Leonardo DiCaprio and others. It's called Don't Look Up. And the asteroid is about to hit the Earth, and people see it coming. They see it coming. And then there's a whole movement of just don't look up, which to me is like a miracle. It's all going to go away. Don't look at the ports. Don't see that shipping has come to a complete halt in Seattle, in Long Beach, in Boston. Don't look up. Don't see that the ships are all in Shanghai and in Chinese ports and they're not coming here. Don't look up. Don't see that this is having a disastrous impact systemically on our economy. And we know what the next several quarters are going to look like if we go down this path. Don't look up. I want to tell you to look up. See it. Let's look at it. Let's try to solve it. Let's try to fix it. The parallels there are uncanny. It almost feels like the current moment is a parody of Don't Look Up. What does the future hold for business? You ask 9 experts, you get 10 different answers. Bull market, bear market. Will rates rise? Will rates fall? Can someone please invent a crystal ball? Until then, over 40,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, HR into one fluid platform. With one unified business management suite, there's one source of truth giving you the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions, like we need to do at the MeidasTouch network. With real-time insights and forecasting, you're peering into the future with actionable data. And you know I love data. When you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you're spending less time looking backwards and more time on what's next. That's why I use this, and you should too. So, whether your company is earning millions or even hundreds of millions, NetSuite helps you respond to the immediate challenges and seize your biggest opportunities. Speaking of opportunity, download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning at netsuite.com/Meidas. The guide is free to you at netsuite.com/Meidas. That's netsuite.com/Meidas. One more time, go to netsuite.com/Meidas. Thanks, NetSuite. All right, let me just show you what Donald Trump's lawsuit's all about, because you may go, Ben, he's saying that he's a consumer who suffered $20 billion of damages, him and Ronnie Jackson, for what they observed with, they said, the former Vice President Kamala Harris interview being edited. By the way, they took out, and CBS took out some ums or ahs when it was probably 45 seconds where Kamala Harris wasn't bad. She was just a little bit non-responsive to the question, and it just slowed down the answer. So they put it on the full one and they removed it. There was nothing substantive that drastically or that even materially changed any of the answers. Here, just take a look at the lawsuit. This is the amended complaint filed February 7th, 2025. And then this is how it's written. In plain English, freedom carries with it responsibility even for the press. Freedom of the press is not freedom from responsibility for its exercise. Then it says, Paramount and CBS disagree. They believe in unbounded freedom to harm media content competitors, including President Trump, by misrepresenting the nature, characteristics, and qualities of their broadcast and digital services, deceive consumers, including plaintiffs, Donald Trump and Ronnie Jackson, through advertisement and commercial promotion of substantially distorted broadcast and digital media content masquerading as news. C. Freely disseminate such substantially distorted broadcast and digital media content to the detriment of competitors and consumers. D. Brand their distorted broadcast and digital media content as legitimately edited news, all for profit without any level of responsibility commensurate with their influence over the American public. That's what this lawsuit is about. Then it says, in October 2024, 1 month before Trump's landslide victory, it wasn't a landslide, defendants, consistent with their modus operandi of advertising and disseminating false election-related content for commercial benefit, advertised and promoted their CBS News 60 Minutes election special show, which was to air in prime time on Monday, October 7, 2024, and feature interviews with then candidate Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Walz. By the way, Trump was too chicken shit, excuse my language, to even do the interview. Trump refused to interview at 60 Minutes because he was too afraid. Remember the 2020 60 Minutes interview with Leslie Stahl, where Donald Trump brought a fake binder with blank pages and claimed it was his healthcare plan. And then she asked to take a look at it and it was all blank pages. And Donald Trump just walked off and said, "You're just being nasty to me." He was too scared to do it. Kamala Harris did the interview. And then you go through it and like you're trying to take a look like, what the hell is this lawsuit even about? And like randomly has photos of Trump's Art of the Deal. And then it goes, as an initial matter, the unedited transcript revealed that the advertised Harris reply and the manipulated Harris reply were both part of a single answer mangled beyond recognition by defendants tampering. I just want to show you what the whole lawsuit's based on. I'm reading Trump's lawsuit. So the bold portion aired on Face the Nation on October 6, 2024. The underlined portion aired during election special on October 7, 2024. The remainder is unused. Okay, so this is what the lawsuit's about. Everything is in this paragraph. And Trump says that if you were to see this entire paragraph, that would have changed what? You won the election. Whitaker from 60 Minutes. We supply Israel with billions of dollars in military aid, and yet Prime Minister Netanyahu seems to be charting his own course. The Biden-Harris administration has pressed him to agree to a ceasefire. He's resisted. You urged him not to go into Lebanon. He went in anyway. Does the U.S. have no sway over Prime Minister Netanyahu? Harris. The work that we do diplomatically with the leadership of Israel is an ongoing pursuit around making clear our principles. Whitaker. But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening. Harris. Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region. And we're not going to stop doing that. We are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end. So what Donald Trump's saying is that entire thing that I just read should have all been just like that. But because it was a little bit sliced and diced and not all of that was in there, that's his injury. That's his damage. I'm reading you from his lawsuit, page 63. That's the claim for $20 billion in injury. So if you take that, and then you take a look at what I just said was edited by NBC, maybe it's 1 trillion. Maybe my lawsuit should be for $1 trillion gazillion dollars. I mean, at this point. Folks, there's the Turkish proverb, and I've heard this in other cultures as well, which is when you bring the clown into the palace doesn't make the clown a king. The palace becomes a circus. No offense to clowns and circuses. Real professions and circuses can be enjoyable. Not in politics, though, and not with fascist clowns, fascist circuses. That's what's happening here. What are we talking about? Shouldn't it be a Democrat, Republican, independent, political? What are we talking about, people? Well, there you have it. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe and let's get to 5 million subscribers together. Can we get there in May? Let's get to 5 million subscribers and check out MeidasPlus.com.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.